Hey everyone, welcome back to Storysport, where powerful stories come to life. If you love heartwarming, thought-provoking tales that stay with you long after the video ends, you're in the right place. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment. Now, grab a warm drink, settle in, and get ready for today's story. Can I buy that dog, Daddy? She asked softly. The officer looked at the dog, and froze. It was a chilly autumn morning in a quiet town just outside of Denver. Orange leaves swirled around the sidewalk as Officer Ray Collins made his usual patrol down Main Street. Ray had been with the force for over 20 years, tough, respected, known for his steady hand and quiet demeanor. He had seen just about everything. Or so he thought. As he crossed in front of a small pet adoption center, something caught his eye. Not the usual barking chaos, this dog was still. A large German Shepherd sat behind the glass window, its gaze locked onto him with intense, almost human eyes. It wasn't just looking, it was studying him. Ray stopped mid-stride. The hairs on his arms stood up. He knew that look. Before he could make sense of it, a little girl's voice broke the silence. Daddy, can I buy that dog? Ray turned to see a man standing with his daughter just a few steps behind him. The girl couldn't have been older than 8. She wore a pink puffy coat, her hands gripping her father's as she stared longingly at the same dog. Her father smiled awkwardly, then crouched beside her. We don't buy dogs, honey. We adopt them. But, maybe we can come back next week and think about it, okay? The little girl nodded, though her eyes never left the shepherd. Neither did Ray's. The man looked up and gave Ray a polite nod, then started to lead his daughter away. But Ray stepped forward. Wait, he said, more abruptly than he intended. The man turned, a little surprised. That dog, what do you know about it? Ray asked, pointing toward the glass. The adoption clerk inside noticed the commotion and came out. She was a kind-looking woman in her 60s, with silver hair and glasses that dangled on a beaded chain. Oh, him, she said. That's Rex. Came in 3 days ago. No microchip, no tags. Someone found him wandering near the old Millerton Bridge. Ray's heart skipped. Millerton. He swallowed hard. Is he trained? The woman nodded. Extremely. He listens to commands better than most people I know. Sit, stay, heel, even hand signals. You can tell he's had real training. Maybe military, maybe police. It's strange though, he doesn't bark. Not once. Just watches. Ray stepped closer to the glass. The dog didn't move, but its eyes followed him again. And then, it tilted its head. Ray whispered, almost involuntarily. Ranger. The dog stood up. His tail didn't wag. He didn't bark. But he walked up to the glass and sat down, alert, waiting. Ray's chest tightened. His mouth went dry. The girl's father noticed his reaction. Officer, are you okay? Ray nodded slowly. I think I know this dog. And then he told them. 3 years ago, Ray's partner was Officer Mike Daniels. Best K9 handler in the precinct. His dog, a German Shepherd named Ranger, was more than just a police dog, he was a hero. Together, they had saved lives, taken down criminals, and once, even sniffed out a kidnapped child in less than an hour. Then came the day everything changed. A warehouse raid went south. Shots were fired. Ray was outside when he heard the explosion. When the dust settled, Mike was gone. Ranger was presumed dead. No trace. No body. Nothing. They all assumed the worst. But now, standing in front of him, was the same deep brown stare. The scar above the right eye. The posture. The stillness. Ranger, he said again. The dog pawed gently at the glass. Ray turned to the clerk. Can I go in? She opened the door without hesitation. As soon as Ray stepped inside the kennel, the dog approached him, slowly, respectfully, like a soldier awaiting orders. No jumping, no barking, just recognition. Ray knelt down, placed a hand on the dog's head. Where have you been, boy? The shepherd leaned into him, eyes closing. The girl from earlier watched in silence. Then she turned to her dad and whispered. Daddy, I think he found his person. Ray chuckled softly. He already had one. And he lost him. He stood and looked at the clerk. I need to make some calls. I think this is an active duty police dog. Or at least, he was. He deserves to come home. Later that afternoon, after several phone calls and some digging through old case files, it was confirmed. It was Ranger. His microchip must have been damaged, but there was no doubt. The same dog. The same hero. But something else came up. Mike, Ray's old partner, he had been found alive 6 months ago, living in a long-term care facility, recovering from a traumatic brain injury. He hadn't remembered much from the explosion. The department had assumed Ranger had died. Until now. A week later, under a clear blue sky, Ray stood outside the care center with Ranger beside him. When Mike was wheeled out onto the patio, it took a few moments. Then it happened. Ranger stood up. Mike blinked, then gasped. Tears rolled down his face as Ranger gently rested his head on Mike's knee. The reunion was quiet, emotional, impossible to put into words. But the look in Ranger's eyes said it all. He had never stopped searching. Back at the adoption center, the little girl and her dad returned the following weekend, hoping to see the dog again. When they heard what had happened, the girl smiled. I'm happy he found his way home. So are we. Some dogs aren't just pets. They're family. They're heroes. And sometimes, they come back when we need them most. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more unforgettable stories, right here on Stories for It. See you next time.